This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, one person is dead after an accident involving a mast on the sailboat, the Grace Bailey.
According to Rockland Fire and EMS, it happened around 10:30 this morning on Penobscot Bay in Rockland Harbor. They say a call came in regarding a large sailboat named the Grace Bailey in distress just outside the breakwater, specifically reporting that a mast on the sailboat had snapped and there were reports of multiple people injured. First responders were transported to the scene by the Coast Guard and cared for the injured. One patient died from their injuries. 3 other patients were transported from the Coast Guard pier. 2 were brought to Penn Bay Medical Center in Rockport, and 1 transported elsewhere via life flight.
We turn now to the developing situation in the Middle East. Israel retaliating in Gaza for the deadly surprise attacks by Hamas that killed more than 900 Israelis. More than 500 Palestinians in Gaza have also been killed. It's a conflict not seen in the region in 50 years, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning their counteroffensive has just begun. ABC's Inez De La Kitara has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Massive blasts rocking the Gaza Strip, with Israel Defense Forces continuing their barrage, huge plumes of black smoke filling the sky. Israeli officials saying in just a 3-hour span Monday, they struck 130 targets in the area, saying they will continue to fight Hamas terrorists as long as necessary for the sake of the residents of the state of Israel. They also plan to blockade Gaza, keeping fuel, food, and electricity out. This mosque in Gaza also hit by Israeli strikes. Palestinians seen crying as the injured are rushed to the hospital. This all comes after the militant group Hamas launched a surprise assault on Israel Saturday, the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. More than 2,200 rockets launched as armed Hamas militants also raided towns, going door to door, executing innocent people. At an Israeli music festival in Negev, rescue workers say 260 bodies were removed from the desert.
It's really living hell. Never seen something like this. I've been in 2 wars in my life and never seen anything like this. Bodies all places for the slaughter. They didn't care if you are a man or a woman, you are young or old man. They are killers, they are murderers.
Israeli officials say dozens who were not killed were kidnapped instead and taken to Gaza as hostages, including this Jewish grandmother.
I'm sure she's very scared, and I'm sure she feels very alone. And that's not a way to live when you're 85. They're being taken away from your bed, from your house.
Thousands have been injured so far in both Gaza and Israel, hundreds killed in both areas. The White House saying at least 11 Americans have died in Israel. U.S. Embassy staff now under a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. and banned from going on any personal travel to the West Bank. And as the IDF continues to lay siege to Gaza, a Hamas spokesman saying if the shelling continues without warning, they will begin executing Israeli hostages one by one. Inez De La Kitara, ABC News, Tel Aviv, Israel.
The Wabanaki Alliance held a rally at the State House in Augusta today to raise awareness for one of the ballot questions this November. Our Corey Bouchard was there and has the story.
Over 200 people rallied outside of the State House in support of Question 6, a referendum question that will appear on next month's ballot. Currently, printed copies of the Maine Constitution issued by the Secretary of State's office are missing Article 10, Sections 1, 2, and 5, which, among other things, details treaty and other obligations that Maine agreed to with its Native American tribal nations when it separated from Massachusetts and became its own state in 1820.
Treaties of 1820 showed that back then our ancestors were putting in the diplomacy and the good work to be included in those discussions. And whatever the reason is for taking those out of print, now is the time to restore it, now is the time to fix it, and now is the time to vote yes on Question 6 and get our full history in our printed Constitution.
Bryant added that this ballot question is the result of multiple bipartisan bills that went before the legislature.
To have a Constitution in the state of Maine that has a whole section about the tribes being struck out for absolutely no good reason is unconscionable. For people to not want to put that back would be incredible.
After the speeches, proponents of Question 6 marched to the steps of the State House. We spoke with some of them about why they think Question 6 is such an important issue.
I think it's important to bring back truth in history and to allow the Native people here to have their rights.
We need to uphold our promises to the Wabanaki Nations, and it's printed in the Constitution when it was written, so it needs to be printed now.
The tribes made agreements with the government at a certain point, and we need to understand what those meant then, what they mean now in terms of what's due to the tribes.
We reached out to the James Finney Baxter Campaign Fund, a political action committee that opposes Question 6, and did not immediately receive a response. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Meanwhile, parts of Maine are working to clean up the mess post-tropical cyclone Philippe left behind. Our Grace Blanchard takes us to Searsport to check out the damage along the coast.
Traffic is being redirected on the corner of Prospect and Main Street in Searsport as construction crews work on a road that has been completely washed out.
I heard that the Gordon contractors were on site at 3 a.m. trying to get things cleared up so we could pass.
Parts of Maine are facing major road damage after being hit by several inches of rainfall from post-tropical cyclone Philippe. According to the Maine Department of Transportation, damage centered on the mid-coast and Bangor. In places like Searsport, the National Weather Services reported over 5 inches of rain accumulated between Saturday and Sunday.
Over the past couple years, I've come through here after big storms, and the whole road is washed away.
Some people who work in the town are worried about how this will impact the ongoing construction and detours that have already slowed down business and visitors.
Some of the roads on the detour for the construction were flooded, and I think some of the construction was.
This past July, the Maine DOT began construction on Route 1 in downtown Searsport, and for storefronts on the downtown strip, the detours have made for a difficult tourist season.
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down things. That's what I've got the consensus of talking to other people.
However, some say it will all be worth the wait once the projects are complete.
It's an inconvenience, but in the long run, it'll help Searsport.
I would say just pack your patience, leave a couple minutes early, and it'll all be worth it in the end.
It is unclear what kind of setback the damage from the storm will cause on the construction already going on throughout the town. In Searsport, I'm Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, no doubt the storm, was helpful to, various construction projects ongoing in the state. And we certainly were seeing pictures all weekend of some pretty serious washouts and damage. So not a great situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And while some parts of the state, may not have been heavily impacted, you have to remember Maine is vast. And
sure.
So, certain areas definitely feeling the brunt of that more
Maine
than
is
others.
vast, and the infrastructure in many parts is old.
Exactly.
Alrighty, folks, let's go ahead and get a first check of our forecast and see what's coming our way weather-wise.
Hey, Beth and Peter, thank you. Happy Monday. Look what we did today. High temperatures back in the low, even a couple of mid-60s out there with some sunshine. Felt good, especially throughout the afternoon. But the sunshine is going to be short-lived as the system to the west of us right there is slowly moving our direction. Not for tomorrow, but more so for Wednesday. And then once it gets here, we're going to have scattered rain showers in the forecast for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If I look at this thing, it's all kind of wound up over here. Lots of power, energy in that. It's going to slowly move this way and again bring us some light rain showers for several days late week into the weekend. Until then, though, there could be some frost in areas south and west of the region tonight. Most of us, though, will have low temperatures tonight hanging out near 40. Our forecast then tonight, though, looking at partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies for a while. Some dense fog is likely late with low temperatures in the 40s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth and Peter.
All right.
All right, looking pretty good. Thanks, Jeff. And coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, it's Indigenous Peoples Day every day at One Bar Harbor Museum. Our Doug Banks will take us there.
And tonight's Powerball jackpot is a record breaker. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
Some things are worth waiting for. Something reliable, something loyal, something long-lasting. A 6-year warranty? Coyote's got that. One machine for all the dirty work? Count on Coyote. Coyote won't break your heart, and Whittemore & Sons got the deals that won't break the bank. So quit swiping and settling for less. Slide into Whittemore & Sons and be treated like family by a family who cares. 257 Waterville Road, Skowhegan.
We've been in business for 31 years, and our employees and guests are like family. We've worked hard, and they've worked hard. That's why question 3 worries me. It puts our power grid in the hands of politicians. It costs $13.5 billion. That's billion with a B. Can you believe that? That could mean higher taxes for all of us. It's bad for our business, and it's bad for Maine. Question 3 is a risk Maine can't afford.
With AAA insurance, by bundling our home and auto policies, we saved over $450.
And we were shocked at the savings.
When we switched to AAA auto insurance and bundled our policies, we were able to save over $400 every year.
Switch to AAA insurance today, and you could save an average of $483 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full-picture quote to find out how much you could save.
Well, my passion is hang gliding. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it's like flying. I mean, it's like everything you always dreamed about. AAA insurance helps us save more.
And do more.
The savings from AAA insurance has allowed me to pursue my passion of making jewelry. It's great to have a little bit of extra cash to do something that you love.
To find out how much you could save by switching to AAA insurance, call 866-460-1310 for your free AAA full-picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. Indigenous Peoples Day is a time to recognize the history and culture of tribal communities here in Maine and across the country. But one museum in Bar Harbor doesn't celebrate just one day a year. They honor tribal history every day. Our Doug Banks explains.
How they had to fight for just the fact that they existed here before this, the fact that they had to buy back their land from the government is just mind-blowing. That was very interesting to read.
Indigenous Peoples Day marks a time for recognition, remembrance, and perseverance. Abbey Museum in Bar Harbor gives people an opportunity to gain knowledge and understanding of a community whose significance stretches far beyond every second Monday of October.
I think some museums sometimes they don't give enough, they don't have enough, not instructions, but they don't have enough explanations next to the items, but they had a sufficient amount of explanations here.
The museum holds pieces of the Wabanaki Confederacy, an alliance of tribes that include Passamaquoddy, Penobscot, Micmac, Maliseet, and Abenaki tribes.
Encapsulate a great number of years of human history that we otherwise easily overlook in our modern culture.
Pieces such as a painting titled Twisted Path, Questions of Balance, and the Circle of Four Directions drum are just two of the many items that bring people into a different world. Although today is just one day, there are some who see more than just a holiday, but a life and a history that doesn't go away when the calendar turns to tomorrow.
Forget the cruise ships, this being Bar Harbor, one of the greatest ports on the East Coast, and Acadia National Park is great scenery, but take a moment to consider what came before all of what we otherwise take for granted around us every day.
I preface this by saying, we know a fraction of what has gone on and what goes on, but it has allowed people like myself who don't know as much about it to go to them and understand what their experience may be about.
In Bar Harbor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Just a great story there. Well, in other news tonight, did you buy a Powerball ticket? Well, tonight's jackpot is a record-breaking amount, and our Devin Dagnall tells us more.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we're doing all right. Let me get this, 3 packs of Camel Crush. I'll get $4 on pump 4, and does that say 1.5 billion?
Yeah, it does say 1.5 billion.
I'll take 20 tickets. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is worth $1.5 billion. With an estimated cash value of just under $700 million, it's the game's third largest jackpot in history.
I got 9 of them.
The odds of winning the Powerball jackpot is 1 in 300 million, which is 33 times less likely than being struck by lightning. Twice.
The odds are fine. They're in my favor right now.
With hundreds of millions on the line, you'd think the Mainers playing would develop some type of game plan, even if it was superstitious, but you'd be wrong.
You got a strategy to it?
Nope. Whatever they give me.
It's no strategy, just pick and hope.
Unsurprisingly, some of the Mainers say the first thing they would do if they won the jackpot is leave the state.
Oh, I would travel, go on vacation, go somewhere warm.
Devin Dagnall, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
As told, as only Devin Dagnall can tell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just great there.
A classic.
It's really interesting to hear people's take on it. First of all, the odds. I don't like hearing that first if I'm going to be buying a Powerball ticket. But I'd like to explore the whole state of Maine, though, first.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much to explore.
Oh, I have a running list of places I haven't been that I still want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just take some time off and bounce around the state. Dog-friendly destinations, please and thank you.
So many of those, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, the Maine Forest and Logging Museum held its Living History Days in Bradley over the weekend. It's the organization's biggest fundraiser.
And in sports, the 1-4 Patriots are at a low not seen in decades. How the offense needs to respond to get the team back on track. That story coming right up.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
When a government-controlled utility took over in Long Island, New York, it made big promises. But what did residents get? Household electric costs increased by more than 50%. Customers' bills skyrocketed with new surcharges. The utility ranked the lowest in customer service, and it failed to pay millions in required payments to local schools and fire departments on time. Don't bring New York's problems to Maine. Vote no on question 3.
We have 2 twin boys, Will and Wyatt. Investing in a fund that can allow them to go to a trade school or can allow them to go to a university and give them those varying options is something that we really liked about the Next Gen 529.
We decided, hey, we could do $5 every 2 weeks for both of them.
And remind ourselves like we're doing the best we can for our kids.
To learn more about Next Gen 529, its investment objectives, risks, and costs, read the program description at nextgenforme.com. Check if your home state has a 529 plan that offers tax or other benefits.
At the end of the day, that's what we do this for, is to watch the next generation blossom.
I would much rather be here than sitting at a desk and on a computer.
Women in today's world can do this.
Newton will drop off one of his daughters to pick up maybe a tractor that we've been working on. They hop right in it. You can just tell it's not their first rodeo.
As we've moved forward, we've looked at where can we get the most bang for our buck on the technology side. Deere is just a leader.
Experience United, your local John Deere dealer.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Healing Hands Massage in Hamden, providing professional massage services tailored specifically for their clients. Stop by Healing Hands Massage today. You'll thank yourself later.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I know we don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. The last time the Patriots started 1-4 was in 2000 when Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback and it was Bill Belichick's first year as head coach. The Pats are in trouble after getting blown out at home by New Orleans on Sunday, 34-0. In the Pats' last two games, against the Saints and Cowboys, they've been outscored 72-3. For the second straight week, Mac Jones was pulled in favor of Bailey Zappi, and the Patriots will visit former offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels and the Raiders on Sunday. Earlier Monday, Belichick, who may be on the hot seat for the first time in his coaching career with the Pats, talked his struggling offense, which is averaging a league-worst 11 points a game.
I think there's a lot of things we need to do better offensively, and that's everybody's a part of it. Coaches, players, every position. I don't think it's limited to one position, one group. Just collectively, we have to perform better.
Okay, now to some happier news. The Class C and Class A Golf State Championships being held at Natanis Golf Course in Vassalboro on Monday. We've got highlights and results for you, starting with Class C. Tournament being held at the Arrowhead 18 at Natanis. Let's go to 13. Wyatt Folsom from Maranacook's second shot to the green. Gets a bunch of loft on this thing and sticks it to a few feet. He finishes 7 over. 14. MCI's Owen Moore's second shot. He saw Folsom's and says, I can do you 1-4. This one even closer to the pin with the spin. More on him later. Up ahead to 16. Noah Schaff from Orono's second shot uphill to the green. And a great shot to the back of the green. He can putt from there. Same hole. Here's North Yarmouth's Davis Gall for par. And he ekes it in there for the nice save. Okay, let's go to the results from Class C, starting with individuals. Cade Thoreau of Fort Kent wins the boys state title at 2 over. Garrett Kendall from St. Dom's and Owen Moore tied for second at +3. Also tied for second were Ethan Pelletier from St. Dom's and Dexter's Chase Farnsworth. For the girls, Maddie Prokopius from North Yarmouth wins it at 16 over. Behind her, tied for second at 17, are Amelie Zach Risson from Kents Hill and Monmouth's Reese Bowden. And the teams, St. Dom's Class C team champs at 39 over. Behind them, Maranacook at 42, Kent Hills at 45. Okay, now let's go to the Tomahawk 18 for the Class A tourney. 15th hole, Messalonsky's Jacob Moody's approach to the green, putting some nice spin on it here, puts it within a few feet. 16. Eli Vine from Handon Academy chipping on, and this kind of short game is what makes you a state finalist. He finishes 7 over on the day. Over to the par 3 13th. Mark Twombly from Scarborough is going to put this thing in great position right next to the hole. Everybody in his group got a GIR on this hole, and just afterwards finishing the job for birdie. And just after him, it's Andres Jimenez from Thornton Academy for birdie from around 15 feet, and he nails it. He finishes +3. Now let's go to the Class A individual results. Will Farshon from Brunswick wins the boys title shooting even par. Jacob Moody second at +1. Mark Twombly at +3. Also shooting +3, Dante Iannetta from Falmouth. McKenna Castle from Thornton Academy and Alexis McCormick from Oxford Hills tie at 13 over for the girls title. Carly Iannetta from Falmouth behind them at +15. And the team champs for Class A are Falmouth at 24 over par, Thornton in second at 28 over, Brunswick at 31 over. Okay, that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
All right, thank you very much. We are heading headfirst into mid-October now. The average high temperature is back in the 50s, but we are hanging out in the 60s across our region for today and likely for tomorrow as well. Low 60s out there, but it felt good, didn't it? With that sunshine and light wind out of the northwest pretty much all day long today. Right now, the winds out of the north around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Got a little gusty for a while, but overall this will die down tonight, and that will give us a chance for your favorite. Some dense fog is possible back in the forecast tonight. The wind dies down later on. It may actually go calm for a couple hours tomorrow morning and then pick up throughout the afternoon once again. So if you're driving 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow, be ready for that. Those pockets of dense fog across the area once again will be slow to lift with the sunrise around 6:30 tomorrow morning. Okay, so this looks like we're in trouble, I know. There's lots of energy around us, but that is going that way. And this is slowly, like really slowly, moving this way. So overall, We'll have a nice night tonight, a nice day tomorrow with increasing clouds throughout the afternoon, and then no rain in our forecast probably till late tomorrow night after midnight, but more so Wednesday and Thursday. And look at this thing. It's an upper level low. They move very slowly. They do whatever they want, right? And once this thing gets over us, beginning Wednesday night, we're looking at rain showers in the forecast for Wednesday and for Thursday and for Friday into Saturday. It's going to be quite a wet week around here with that moisture in the area. It will not be an all-day rain, though. So here's tomorrow morning, 6:30 or so, looking at some fog around. Other than that, mostly clear skies tomorrow morning. Then we'll have increasing clouds throughout the day tomorrow. A couple of sprinkles cannot be ruled out tomorrow night. And then tomorrow night and then throughout the day, Wednesday, a couple of showers around, some cloud cover in there too, as the thing kind of circles to the west of us and eventually kind of lands right over us later Wednesday into Thursday. That will keep those showers around through them. I'm going to run this thing into the weekend. You can see not a lot of moisture coming our way. We're talking maybe 1/10 of an inch of moisture heading our direction between late tomorrow night and early parts of Saturday afternoon. Our forecast then tonight, though, we're talking about partly cloudy skies. Some dense fog is likely. Look for low temperatures back in the low to mid 40s across the area. For tomorrow, all right, we'll take it. Partly cloudy skies and breeze. We'll call it increasing clouds tomorrow. High temperatures back, where they would say near 62, with a south wind that could gust near 20 throughout the afternoon. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows tomorrow partly cloudy. There's that rain chance for Wednesday into Thursday, although Thursday might stay dry. There's a chance, right? Into Friday as well, and overall temperatures hanging out near 60 over the weekend.
All right.
So ready for that rain.
Yeah, not out of the woods yet as far as the precipitation goes, which is kind of unfortunate because we've already gotten shellacked over the weekend, at least a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely did.
All righty, folks, well, stick with it. I'm sure there's some sunshine on the way somewhere. And there's also more local news ahead. Stay with us.
Finding the right vehicle for you and your family can be a daunting task. At Varney Buick GMC, our expert staff is here to make the journey as painless as possible. Our goal is to get you and your family in a vehicle that will best fit into your lifestyle. Communication is key, and our team makes sure to be completely transparent throughout the process, informing you on all of your options. Come experience Varney value, only at Varney Buick GMC.
At Living Innovations, we build community. You can be a part of it. We put supporting people first, and that builds a caring community within our workforce and for the people we serve. Living Innovations supports people with disabilities and has flexible work opportunities available. You could become a shared living provider and work from home, or help support people to be active in the community. To learn more, visit livinginnovations.com and check out our employment and home provider opportunities. Become a part of Living Innovations and be part of a community with a purpose.
Main House Home Furnishings and Gifts has a fantastic fall 40% off sale on home goods starting on Monday, October 9th. Bring some friends and enjoy the foliage on the way to the corner of routes 15 and 16 in Abbott.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna. General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine for more than 30 years with an extensive inventory, including mini track loaders with attachments, full-size track skid steer, track loader and backhoe, wheel loader with attachments, a 50-foot towable aerial lift, and a 45-foot self-propelled four-wheel drive lift. If you can't find it on our website, we can find it for you. Call for multi-day and weekend special rates. Harris Lumber is locally owned and has been serving the Pequot region for more than 50 years. See them for all your projects, big or small. Customer service is their #1 priority. And with a full line of lumber and hardware items, they can also deliver to your job site. Harris Lumber, Milo.
Tonight, Netanyahu making it very clear here that Israel is at war.
The deadly terrorist attacks and race to find hostages.
The United States stands with the people of Israel.
As Israel strikes back, more Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir.
Welcome back. The Maine Forest and Logging Museum held its Living History Days in Bradley over the weekend. This yearly event is the nonprofit's biggest fundraiser. Crowds gathered to see the famous Lombard log hauler, the locomotive parade, and the water-powered sawmill. Visitors also got to take a horse-drawn carriage ride around the property. Sarah Kolb of Durham was in the area for a wedding and decided to stop by for the event.
I love history, so I love to see how people used to live. So this is right up my alley.
So when you visit the museum, as you can see here today, it's not just static displays. You'll see equipment being operated and demonstrated, and that's a unique way of presenting that history. So you can see it, feel it, and hear it, which is pretty cool.
The Maine Forest and Logging Museum, located on the Government Road in Bradley, is open daily during daylight hours. So really a cool opportunity for people to come down there and learn some history in an interactive way.
I was going to say, I like how we put it. This isn't just sort of history that you stand there and look at. You can see it, you can hear it moving, you can see it moving, all of the things. So it definitely is an engaging way to learn your history.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to learn.
Indeed. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.